Good morning and praise the Lord, everybody. Welcome back to another Good Morning Grief Devotion. It's your boy, Pastor Corey Allen Duncan Sr. So grateful and thankful to have this wonderful opportunity to come to you today, lead you in a very special way in today's Good Morning Grief Devotion. This is the daily grief devotion that is strategically designed to help you to navigate through your grief one day at a time. What is grief? I'm so glad you asked. Grief, my brothers and sisters, it is the natural, normal, and necessary response to loss, change, and transition that results in the expressions of feelings and emotions. Grief is what you feel on the inside. Mourning is how you reveal it on the outside. Therefore, we don't suppress it, but we express it. We don't ignore it, but we explore it. We don't conceal it, but we reveal it. We don't lock it up. We let it out. And that's why we shout good morning, because morning is indeed a good thing. And I'm so glad that you're here with us today. It's really in a very special way in today's Good Morning Grief Devotion. Today, my brothers and sisters, is day 154. I thank y'all for coming back for some more. We're going to talk about the unfinished story. The unfinished story. Let's talk about it, y'all. Now we see in a mirror dimly, but then we shall see face to face. Now I know in part, then I shall know fully. 1 Corinthians 13 and 12. Some losses leave behind more than grief. They leave behind unfinished chapters. Some losses, they leave behind a little bit more than grief. They leave behind what are known as unfinished chapters. The words you never got to say, the apology you never received, the dream you didn't get to live out together, the plan still sitting on the calendar. Some of them leave behind more than grief. They leave behind unfinished chapters. Can I ask you, what was the words that you never got to say? What were the words that you never got to say? What was the apology that you never ever received? What was the apology that you never received? What was the dream that you did not get to live out together? I was talking to a lady. She was saying her and her husband, they had a dream of traveling to all 50 states. And they did. They had made it to, I think, 40. I want to say it was 6 left. So they made it to 44. She still has 6 left, right? And the things that you didn't get to finish together, right? The plan still sitting on the calendar. What are the unfinished chapters that were left in wake of your grief? It's the ache of what could have been, the sentence that trails off mid thought, the door that closed before you had the chance to fully walk through it. What do we do with these unfinished chapters? Because it wasn't supposed to be like this. Sometimes I said at the 7 o'clock, sometimes we got to grieve what we had in mind. There's a picture we had in mind. There's some what we had in mind of what it should have been, could have been, would have been, and it wasn't. Sometimes we got to grieve what we had in mind. What do we do with these unfinished chapters? I'm so glad you asked. This is the pain of the unfinished story. When loss interrupts love, healing, reconciliation, or shared dreams. Because loss will just interrupt stuff. It don't ask for permission. It don't come and tell you, hey, is it okay? I'm about to do that. It don't do none of that. It just interrupts your plans. It just interrupts everything, right? Loss interrupts love, it interrupts healing, it interrupts reconciliation, shared dreams, and the silence that follows can be louder than any goodbye. The silence that follows the interruption of this loss can be louder than any goodbye. But even in what feels undone, guess what? God is still working. He is the author who sees the whole story. Even when we only hold fragments, he can take the torn pages, the missed moments, and the unresolved feelings and somehow write redemptions into the margin. Y'all don't hear me this morning. Y'all don't hear me. I need y'all to listen, y'all. Even in what feels undone, guess what? God is still working. He is the author that sees the whole story. He sees the whole story. Even when we only hold fragments, he can take the torn pages, the missed moments, the unresolved feelings and somehow write redemption into the margins. Your story didn't end, it shifted. And even with unanswered questions or unsaid words, God promises that nothing, not even death, can separate us from his love or from the impact of those we've lost. It didn't end, it just shifted, right? That's not the end, it's to be continued. It shifted. God is still writing the story, right? Even with unanswered questions, unsaid words, God promises that nothing, not even death, can separate us from his love or from the impact of what we lost. Here's a point of application for you. If you're carrying the ache of unfinished moments, take time today to write a letter to your loved one or to God. Pour it out. Yeah, this is so very important because again, release brings about relief. Release brings about relief. And if you have this ache of an unfinished story, write a letter. Write a letter to a loved one or write a letter to God. What is this going to do? It helps you to release everything you're feeling on the inside. And this release ultimately it brings about relief. It's all about relief. Right now you got it pent up on the inside. Right now, you got thoughts of, yeah, it was unfinished. I didn't get to say goodbye. There's stuff on the calendar. I didn't get the apology. I didn't get the, and so you're feeling something on the inside. And maybe you released it to your therapist, your coach. Maybe you had an opportunity to articulate it. I'm not for sure, but I do know this, right? Superman ain't coming, right? And so if you looking and waiting for somebody to come and save you, this, that, and the other, no, we're gonna participate in our own rescue, right? This release is gonna bring about relief. So take the time, write the letter, write the letter to them, write the letter to God, right? Say what you never got to say. Say what it's been pent up on the inside of you for the last 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 4, 5, 6, 7. It's been pent up for the last 5, 6, 7, 8 years. You never got to say it. You never got to articulate it. Let it out, right? Let it out. Trust that God receives every word and redeems every unwritten page. The story may feel unfinished, but it's not without meaning. Today, my brothers and sisters, is day 154. Thank y'all for coming back for just a little bit more. We are talking about the unfinished story. Come on, I appreciate y'all joining us on today. I hope and pray it was a blessing in some type of way. We were looking forward to empty nesting together. This was not the plan. This is not the plan. You hear me? Those things that we look forward to. Empty nest. So y'all can sit on the porch and drink lemonade and travel and laugh and giggle and have fun, right? So when it's like when you shift the story, like, so what is this? What is it? These pages. What are these pages? These ain't the pages I imagine taking place in the book, right? What is this? What is this? It didn't end, it just shifted. That's on the period, right? I kept telling my mom 105 is the number. She made it to 93. Come on, 105. She made it to 93. I don't know why I keep thinking of this, and I'm gonna share it, and I'm gonna get off of here. I don't know if y'all watch Power. Y'all watch Power. If y'all watch Power, the show on Power, it was so powerful, right? It was whether you like it or not. I just thought it was just so good. It was so intriguing, and for it to end the way it did, right, with a Ghost dying allegedly, I guess he died. We seen he died. For those who you watched the show, it was kind of like, man, I don't believe they really did this. Like, this ain't the way it was supposed to end. But you know what was so amazing about the ending? It was the spinoffs, right? They come out with Ghost Power book. Tommy had his spinoff. Tariq had his spinoff. Raising Canaan had his spinoff. And it's so amazing because these shows are amazing in their own right, right? Now I'm wrapped up and tied up in raising Canaan, right? I'm wrapped up and tied up in Tommy's and Ghost Pirate Book. I'm wrapped up in uh I'm wrapped up in the other one. And I'm just like Tariq's. I'm just like, man, this is crazy. And to where it was at a point to where I was so heartbroken, not really, but I'm so heartbroken that Power ended. The spinoffs, just like it done took it to another level. And this is the thing. This is what I want y'all to understand. If y'all seen it, y'all know what I'm talking about. If y'all don't, I apologize. But for the end that's taking place in your life, it can feel so devastating, right? That this has ended, this situation, this relationship, this marriage, my child. And I just feel God saying the spinoff of what's going to occur, right? It doesn't take away the pain of the loss, but the spinoff that can occur moving forward, right? God says, oh, you got some of the best episodes of your life are still to come. Some of the best chapters of your life are still to come. I know this. I know this chapter ending was hard. I know we seen ghosts free falling like this. Like, no, God. I know. But God says the spinoffs, right? The episodes, the series that's to come in your life. Oh, it's going to be so powerful. God says there are still more chapters in the book of your life. There are still more miles in the journey of your life. There are still more episodes in the story of your life, right? And I know it may feel like an unfinished story. God says, I am the author and the finisher of your faith. I'm still writing your book. And the best is yet to come. I know it's hard to imagine. After this loss, after this tragedy, the best is yet the best. uh, the nest ain't even empty like it's supposed to be. That's a dope analogy. Thank you, Lauren. Absolutely. You got it. Glory, this is a word for me. Thank you. Yes, I appreciate God. He kept putting, I'm like, they ain't gonna get that. So I'm like, yeah, I ain't gonna use that example. But it just kept nudging me, right? It just kept nudging me. So it's like, yeah. And y'all do get it. And that's what I want you to know and understand. It doesn't take away the pain of the loss. We still navigating through the loss, right? But the reality is the spinoffs and the episodes. Man, I'm telling you, you'll get to a point to where you're navigating through this grief, right? And you start to reconstruct meaning for life, right? You start to heal, you start to move forward, right? And you get to the point to where you understand, man, there's still more chapters. There's still more chapters. I'm going to live again, I'm going to laugh again, I'm going to love again. That what it is now is not what it's going to be next. You know what I'm saying? And so you hang on with hope. You hang on with hope. Um, that yeah, it does get greater later. I promise you. Oh, it's gonna get greater later. The spinoff. I'm telling you, it's gonna get greater later. Thank you so much, so very much for this devotion today. I needed this. Thank you, Eunice. God knows. God knows the spinoff. I'm telling you, it's the spinoff. The spinoff. It's gonna be absolutely awesome. So, hey, I'm praying as you navigate through your season of grief. I'm praying for the next episode of your life, the next chapter of your life. As you continue on your journey, just know that the best is yet to come. I love y'all with the love of the Lord. I'm gonna see y'all tomorrow, same time, same place, for another Good Morning Grief devotion. Let's go.